Small and medium enterprises, the sector is a backbone of major developed economies, as well as an important contributor to employment, of course, economic growth and export growth. According to a recent report by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, SMEs in Nigeria have contributed about 48% of national GDP in the last 5 years. With the 17.4 million, they account for 84% of employment and nearly 90% of the manufacturing sector. Regarding the number of enterprises, thus the industry has over time grown to become an indispensable part of the economy. Following the economic challenges that resulted from the COVID-19 pandemic, which has affected the operations of small businesses in the country, financial experts and development economists have continually called for more robust financing infrastructure to stimulate growth and profitability in the post-pandemic era. To discuss this, I introduced him earlier. He is Dr. Uchenna Anyanwu from the Department of Economics at Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka. Thank you very much for your time, Dr. Anyanwu. It's really good to see you again.
Thank you very much.
All right, Dr. Anyanwu. All right, then first, let's start with SMEs, their operations in this country in general. Are they being optimally maximized? Are they doing as well as they should do, considering the challenges they face in this climate?
Thank you very much for the question. The SMEs in Nigeria and most developing nations have not been doing their optimal performance because of constraints that keep on increasing per day. We have different constraints that affect them, that make them to perform below optimal satisfaction. Because when you look at the nature of infrastructure in Nigeria and most of developing nations, which actually are the backbone for any economy, and it gives a process that enables those SME to be able to achieve what they really want to. And which, of course, you know that SMEs are the engine of any economy. And these are the ones that vitalize the economy such that the growth we are looking at, we'll see. And you find that when they don't have all these necessary prerequisites, it drops back their performance. It drops back their performance in very difficult situations, such that the kind of SME I see in Nigeria are, when you discuss, they're full of complaints. They have a basket of problems and reasons why they cannot perform. In fact, they will tell you that doing business in Nigeria is the worst nightmare any of them can. Most of them are still here because they don't have other options available.
So now that we talk funding, what sort of funding do you think we should make available for them? I know the central bank keeps making provisions. We see the Development Bank of Nigeria. We see microfinance, a lot of them. But what kind of financing structure do you think is necessary to make them perform optimally?
You know, they actually financing is key, but there are other critical things that are needed. Like infrastructure. You know, if you see the decay of infrastructure in Nigeria, it has actually made the SMEs the cost of production is so hard. Look at transportation. Look at in area of security. Look at in the area of electricity. Okay, so if when somebody is working in an environment that he cannot perform optimally, no matter the kind of fund you fund him, the thing will go down the drain. And that is why you see CBN releasing so billion, and when you ask them to pay back, they're unable to pay back. They give you reasons why they cannot pay back. And when you look at those reasons, they are obvious and they are seen. Because the infrastructure, which is the enablement of businesses, are lacking. They are lacking because when you have efficient infrastructure, it opens access to vital services and improve economic opportunities, such that they begin to see other areas they could increase. They could increase their performance. But you find out that in Nigeria,
All right, go ahead, Dr. Anyanwu. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that the cost of the cost of production, which caused by lack of infrastructure, made these SMEs, their product become uncompetitive. You find that you'll be shocked that something that's been produced in Nigeria appear to be higher than what is imported. Why? Because the cost of production is high. Take for instance, if you take down, you find out the distribution of all the roads in Nigeria, moving goods around causes extra costs, okay? And even the electricity. If I have a cost to discuss with some of the entrepreneurs I know, they will say that even the cost, the electricity tariff is also increasing their cost of production. Some of them are even saying whether they can opt by buying their own generator to be able to generate their own power. Okay, so you find that government should not only that government should bring infrastructure, but also see how it can reduce the infrastructure. They can reduce the cost of doing business in Nigeria, which is actually what those SMEs need. In this country. And also, government, in doing this, government is expected to partner with private sector. We have a number of private sectors that are out there trying to help the government. Private sector can come in a different way of designing, constructing, monitoring, and following up what is happening. Because you find out that if you allow the government to do, because of government bureaucracy, you find that most of the aim and objective of the government will not be realized. And when you bring in private sectors, they tend to bring in the business idea that behind this to achieve what we are the lowest cost. Because efficiency is important in whatever we do. Because most of the times, what government does, you find out that the cost of doing such thing could have been reduced if private sector is involved. And this goes a long way to affect the performance of these SMEs. It's like their complaint is every day. Of course, you know the exchange rate, because of course, if they to import some of their raw materials, the exchange rate will affect it. The cost of production will be high. Of course, I need not to tell you about the insecurity, how it affects the access to their raw materials, making all of them to insist on importation, whereas they can also source those things internally. So these are the constraints SMEs are facing in this country, and we think that government should come up with a drawing board to see how to improve these kind of issues raised.
Now, back to finance now, staying with finance, I totally agree with you that there are a lot of challenges and not just finance. But now let's stay with finance. Some even say, or some SMEs that we've had interactions with, they tell us that they are not even as educated. They don't know how to go about accessing some of these funds. Do you think there needs to be more education? Do you think that the banks should make it simpler, and also do you think the SMEs need to come in clusters so that they can access funding? It's one of the challenges, so we need to take it seriously.
Yes, I understand the area you are going, but you also know that most of the SMEs we have are a little bit enlightened. The number of the ones you are thinking that may not be well enlightened will be few, because I have interacted with them. I have worked so much on these SMEs, and I find that some of them, the little documentation that will be required, they are well able to do such things. However, these funding organizations like CBN, maybe sovereign wealth and other things, they also need to bring them in cooperatives, so that you have lectures to them and explain to them why. Because these are what is lacking. Because when you dish out money to SMEs and you explain to them the dynamics of those, they find that they will see that the government take home. And they find out that when you ask them to pay back, what's the problem? Therefore, the issue of education is important. Not only education, but monitoring and following up. What I find out is lacking in this country is like a lack of follow-up. You see, CBN would say they have released so trillion, they have released so much. Well, nobody follow up. And that is why I'm calling in for private sector, because private sector will not release its money, that follow up, because they understand that money does not belong to them and it must come back. Whereas those in government believe that if the money goes up, no more, nothing much will happen. Therefore, it's become pertinent that government should do anything to partner in with private sector in any way, in any time they want to dish out money to all these SMEs. It's important so that those money can go and come back, so that you have something like recycling. By the time Group A finish, they move the money back to Group C or Group B, such that these are the things that happen in Indonesia when they start this issue of their innovative financing of innovative finance. What is innovative financing? They discover that after the COVID, the issues that government is burdened with finance, and they don't have enough to finance the SME that are in their need of it. They come up with what they call a value capture framework. So that if SME want to come, they discuss with you, what do you really want? How can we help you? It's not enough to give them money. They go extra mile. If it's machines you want, they get the machine for you. Even if manpower you want, they give you the manpower, and also give you some expert advice and monitor you to see that the production process come to fruition, and you maintain standard so that your goods will be sold and money come back, so that another person will use. That's what this innovative financing is all about. And it's important that Nigeria should adopt such thing. That is what is making waves in Indonesia and some of these Asian tigers.
Now, Dr. Anyanwu, let me now take you to infrastructure, which I also agree is key. Power, roads, we can go on, basic amenities for us to be able to run about our day-to-day activities. But even the CBN has come out to say that we need like $100 billion annually for us to revamp infrastructure. We see all that is happening with this administration, the rail lines, the roads, we can see all of them. But do you think that, when do you think we'll get to that point where we'll be satisfied as humans? I know our wants are insatiable, but when will we get to that point that it would impact on our business life?
You see, the problem with Nigeria is the mentioning of money, funding. The issue now is not, you see, if you take back to your community or place, I find that most of the roads built some 3-4 years ago has gone back. You understand? Mean that they were not properly done. That is the implication. So it is not a matter of bringing money for infrastructure. Those ones you have done, how far have you done them? How good are they? Because by the time all this loan Nigeria is taking, look at the kind of loan you have taken, and it's for infrastructure. You find out that this administration will finish, and another administration will come and still redo the same infrastructure done. You see, it's rework, and rework is the worst thing that could happen to any organization, even like a nation. Okay, so it's not a matter of finance goods. We need finance, but there must be a critical area this finance should be channeled. It's not a matter of say we need $100 billion or you need amount. No, where are you going to fix that money from? Who and who? Have you even profiled the SMEs? We have SME means small and medium scale. How many is small? How many is medium? How much does medium need? How much does small need? You cannot generalize all of them. You must profile them, and so that you attend to their need as they need it. Okay, so the issue of getting to 100 billion and all that is the problem we have. Is that if you look at this infrastructure have been done in states, it is what the previous administration have done. They are doing it again. Why is this so? Because people have maybe they don't understand that infrastructure have two components. Infrastructure financing have two components. We have hard and visible and the soft components of infrastructure. Hard and visible are those roads you see, the telecom, the railway you have seen. But the soft component of it is policies and programs and regulations. If policies and programs and regulations are not followed closely with the visible or what I call the hard component, you will not get anywhere. And that's the problem Nigeria is having. Nigeria is following just the hard copy, the hard components of infrastructure, building roads. The road they are building, what is it for? In those days of differing, we said we are moving building roads from community to town to transport goods and services of finished goods of agriculture. Do we do it now so that when you give a contract to do those kind of goods, they know that heavy machines and heavy lorries are going to pass, and so they build out roads such that it will accommodate those. It's not enough to say I build a road between here to here. What is the nature of the road? What is the kind of vehicle that are going to apply on it? Do we do this thing? These are the soft aspect of infrastructure that is lacking in this country. We must be able to establish that every infrastructure, the hard copy of it must follow closely with the the soft component, which is the policies, to be able to know that this road is meant for this kind of trucks, this kind of load, so that in the building, those things will be inputted, so that the roads will stay. Not a matter of building a road in the next 3-4 years, and that government to come, go and borrow money and build the same road. When we continue this vicious cycle, we can't go anywhere. And that is why you'll be surprised that over 10-20 years, the same problem SME are facing, it's the same problem. Finance infrastructure over 20 years, and billions of dollars and naira have been spent on building this road, building infrastructure, and all those stuff, giving them handout and all that. Of course, as an economist, I don't believe in handouts, because handout does not help anybody. Okay, therefore, government should consider marrying the hard component of infrastructure financing with the soft components.
Well, it's a good way to live. It is interesting talking to you, Dr. Uchenna Anyanwu there from the Department of Economics at Nnamdi Azikiwe University. Okay, thank you for making more sense for SMEs, of course, and financing infrastructure for them as we move out of COVID-19 era. We enjoy your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much for having me.